Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to SecondFirst Conversations, a presentation of Second Congregational First Presbyterian Church in downtown Rockford, Illinois, where we serve downtown Rockford and beyond with God's grace. I am your host, Phil Davidson, along with Greg McCulloch. On this episode of SecondFirst Conversations, we will be taking a closer look at the Overnight Cafe. And our guests today are Pastor Becky Erbe, SecondFirst Associate Pastor for Outreach and past acting senior pastor, and Brandon Williams, Overnight Cafe Director. So welcome, Pastor Becky and Brandon.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. So what motivated our church to even contemplate and then launch Overnight Cafe?
There was a real need in Rockford. There just wasn't enough places for the homeless to stay due to a myriad of reasons. So in 2019, when the polar vortex came through, we opened up for 2 weeks, once in February and once in March, to house people that were out in the cold. We went to parking garages and asked people to come. We went to other locations where they congregated and slept. We didn't get too many takers at first, but pretty soon we had about 12 the first year.
Mm-hmm. So this is our sixth year.
We're going on our seventh.
Oh, seventh.
Or eighth, if we count 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26. Oh, yeah, we're going on 26. We're going on our eighth year. That's right.
Yeah, eighth year.
A couple more years, she's going to run out of fingers.
I know.
Yeah,
I'll have to get my toes out.
Right. So why the name Overnight Cafe?
At the time, there was some question whether we could have the
was it a zoning?
Zoning,
thing?
thank you. That's the word, the zoning, whether you could have overnight guests. So the cafe name came so people could be staying up, reading magazines, drinking coffee, someplace warm overnight. And then as the years progressed, we had people sleep. Because when you're homeless, you're walking about 6 to 10 miles a day. And at night, you're tired. And all you want to do is go to sleep.
Right, right.
So who are the folks who normally take advantage, then, of this amazing service?
It is people who cannot get into any other facility. So whether they're full or they're just not able to go to, like, the rescue mission, we're an option for people to come who don't fit in any place else.
Okay, so these are the people who literally have nowhere else to go.
Literally have nothing.
So, Brandon or Becky, either one of you, would you give us an idea of how it all works on a typical evening?
On a typical evening, we usually open the doors around 7. So we'll have them come in, we'll check names in, make sure everybody is who they say they are. We don't ask for IDs or anything. Once everybody's checked in, then we search bags. There's a couple staff members that go through the bags and stuff, and we wind them down. That usually takes anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on how many guests we have at the doors. Once they get into the gym, they usually grab their mats, blankets, find a place to settle down and relax until I give the speech about the rules and regulations of the place. And then once that's done, which I've been cut back on my time doing that, then it's time to eat. Mm-hmm. Once food is served and everything, that takes probably about a half an hour, 45 minutes to get everybody served. They clean up, sit down, everybody puts a movie on, relax. Correction, we do open at 6 instead of 7. I apologize about that. We open up at 6 instead of 7. After food and everything's handed out, we might have some guests that do want to take a shower or just wash up, and we do allow a certain amount at the evening and in the morning to take a shower, because without having a home or anywhere to shower at, it's nice to have a shower, a warm shower. Once that happens, they usually settle down after they eat and stuff, and we usually have a cigarette break because they do like their nicotine most of the time. It does. For a normal person, it'll rile them up, but for some reason, they'll have a cigarette, come back, lay down, and they're asleep for the night. Might get up once or twice in the evening, use the bathroom. Some now we have that they don't sleep. They can't. And they'll just roam around the gym, which is fine. We have an area where they can walk at if they want to walk. Some of them sit up and just watch movies all night.
At least they're warm and safe.
Yes, that's the main concern and stuff, is them being warm and safe. Once that happens, then in the morning we have to have everybody out at, before 7 a.m. So we get up. If we have oatmeal, they'll get oatmeal, coffee, tea, whatever we can give them in the morning to get them going for their day and stuff. And then they'll get up and get ready and head out the doors around 7. And then we see them again 7 p.m. that night or 6 p.m. that night.
You mentioned food a couple times, and I know that wasn't originally part of this program, but now it is. Where's that food coming from?
Volunteers, mainly throughout the community and our own church. People who may have had an event earlier in the day and they have leftover food, they'll drop it off. People will order pizza, soups, stews, casseroles, things that are easy to mix and cook but are filling and warm.
You mentioned the staff, so let's talk about the staff a minute. Who are they? Are they all volunteers? Are some of them paid? Or are they both?
We have a mixture of both. We have paid staff and volunteers.
Okay, and how is Overnight Cafe funded? Because obviously if you're paying some of the staff.
Yes, the staff is the biggest cost to the Overnight Cafe. Next things are like paper products, toilet paper, things like that. In kind, the church donates the use of the gym and utilities, heat. We get the rest of the money from donations and grant money.
So anybody can donate?
Anybody can donate, and it is greatly appreciated.
And how do they do that?
They can send a check in to SecondFirst Church, and in the memo line put Overnight Cafe, and then we have a grant writer who's actively searching organizations that we can appeal for a grant.
So if we could, you mentioned the hours before. Can you tell me the hours again, the typical hours that it's open?
Typical hours that we're open are from 6 p.m. until 7 a.m. We do have times that we might open early just due to the weather and how bad it can be. If it's super cold earlier in the day, then we might open up a little bit earlier. Last year, I think the earliest we opened was around 4 p.m., but it's not something that we do just. Our normal hours are from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m., but if it does get extremely cold, then we will talk about opening up a little bit earlier.
Is that 7 days a week?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of days, a lot of hours. So, is Overnight Cafe open to both men and women?
Yes. The SecondFirst Church houses the men, and we have partnered with Emmanuel Episcopal Church, and the women stay in their Jubilee Center.
Good.
And their hours are the same as the men's side.
So, I'm sure there are rules and regulations. Can you give us an idea on those?
So basically, the way we set the rules and regulations up are you're inside of a church. You want to respect the church. Mm-hmm. If you can't respect the church, then you sort of are just taking advantage of what the church is doing for you. Some of the rules that we do have is no drugs, no weapons, no alcohol. It's allowed inside. we will, as we search bags, we will take lighters, cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, weapons, and we'll keep them until the morning and give them back in the morning. If you are caught with any of that inside the church after check-in, your actions sort of walk you out the door.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're all adults. I do know that, we're dealing with people without homes. Instead of homeless, people without homes. And that they're not used to rules or following rules. So it's hard to keep the rules in line and keep them in line. But once it does happen and once they do understand that we're helping you and giving you a place to stay that's warm, feeding you, then it's like they sort of tend to understand that we're not trying to take advantage of you. We're not trying to make you do anything. This is an opportunity to have somewhere warm, get fed, take a nice hot shower when you can, and just enjoy the evening with each other. I mean, like I told them last year, you guys are like a family.
Mm-hmm.
I come in here every day and talk.
I imagine it becomes that way.
It does, and it feels that way, too. I mean, you do start to build a rapport with some of the guests, and they sort of build a rapport back with you, which in turns is like a respect thing. So now we all respect each other. As long as we can respect each other, then we'll all enjoy the evening together.
One of the saddest days of the year, I think, at the church is that morning when the overnight cafe has closed for the season. It's eerie.
Yeah.
It's quiet. It's lonely. Your people that you have really cared for are out the door. So,
Well, speaking of that, I don't think we mentioned what the season actually is officially.
it's the coldest of the months. It's January through March, mid-March.
Okay.
We will open up in December if the temperature gets below, if the wind chill, gets below 15.
I could understand that.
Yeah.
What is a typical population size? Just an estimate.
A typical,
It can vary a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, it can vary. I know on the average last year there was probably around 55 to 60 a night. Sometimes it might rise a little higher than that, but it's hard to say because some people might not want to come in that night. They might, like on the 1st and the 3rd, people get their checks and stuff, so they don't want to come in because they have money, so they'll go out and get a hotel room or whatever until they're out of money, and then they'll come back and they'll stay for the remainder of the month. So it just depends.
Do you have a limit?
We try. But when faces come to the door and it's freezing or your favorite person hasn't come in yet and you've been so worried about where they've been, we try, don't we?
Yes, we do try. It's hard. I mean, I don't want to see anybody out freezing in winter and stuff. I mean, that's weather that shouldn't even be messed with when it comes to somebody's life.
Well, I know that something like this can't keep running without some kind of partnerships with other organizations. So can you give us an idea of who you partner with?
We're partnering again with Emmanuel Episcopal Church. They're letting us use the Jubilee, plus they're supplying the food for the women over there. We have Rosecrans that comes and volunteers. We have St. Vincent de Paul come to volunteer, the City of Rockford, Carpenter's Place. So our volunteer pool is very healthy and very much appreciated. I'd also like to acknowledge Pastor Dave Labe, who comes in a couple of times a week and donates clothes to the guests, and some extra prayer he offers to people, and then to Reverend Martha Langford, because she's new to the position, and she's been eager and has wanted to learn and is so supportive of it as well.
Good.
It may not be considered a partnership, but I know a few times I've actually seen local news stories, like on the TV stations that talk about the overnight cafe. And it always seems like when one of those would come up, I'd have somebody over the next week or something would come up to me and say, "Hey, I saw a news story about that overnight cafe thing. Isn't that your church?" And it just, people are interested in it, and it really seems to strike a chord with people because it's such a necessary thing.
We have a bit of a love-hate relationship with
the media.
The media when they want to come and talk to us. It's wonderful because we can let people in Winnebago County know that this is a place where they can come. It's good publicity for the church. But sometimes these little clips will end up in Nebraska or Kansas or just a filler for other stations. And we have had people from Leavenworth coming here. We have had people from Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, Arizona.
Well, you really probably
and
can't safely show faces on the screen.
No, we can't. And you don't want to turn anybody down because the people that come from out of state tend to be less prepared clothing-wise. But yet, if we're taking people from other cities and states, what happens to our people in Winnebago County?
Right. They're taking space.
They need space too. So if you have a place to stay and you're in another city and state, please stay there. So,
is there anything else, any other areas, I'm kind of digressing here, that you want to talk about?
I think it's important to thank the people of SecondFirst Church. This is a big undertaking. Our cafe is attached to our sanctuary. Our common narthex is where the guests come in and where people come in for meetings and choir and bell practice, and we all make it work. The generosity of the church makes it possible for people to come and stay, and that's important to acknowledge.
I really would just like to say that it's been 3 years for me doing this, and I've grown to have a passion for it just because not everybody has the opportunity or even the choice of having somewhere to go or having someone to give them assistance. And for me being able to sit down here, and yes, when I say sit down here, I do spend 5 to 6 days out of the week down at the overnight cafe, and I have no problem with it. It's something that I enjoy. I mean, once we get in there and it gets going and stuff, it's like a second home. Wow. And it's weird to say it like that, but it is, because like Pastor Becky said, when the last day comes and you leave, it's like, so what do I do tomorrow? Mm-hmm. And where's Robert going to be tomorrow? I use Robert as just a name, just in general. Yeah. But where's he going to be tomorrow? What are they going to be doing? And then, sometimes in the summer, I might see some of my regulars down there and say hey, or take them and might get them a bite to eat or something, and it makes me feel good because I see that they're still out here. Mm-hmm. They're not gone or, haven't disappeared or something like that, or got locked up or something, and I just want to say that I feel I'm blessed to be able to come down and help out and give back to the community. I mean, I was born here. I've seen a lot of homeless prior to 2019. I seen it, and now I can actually give back and help. It feels good. It makes me feel good. So,
hasn't the overnight cafe had a few real success stories? It seems like I've heard people who went on to maybe come back and actually volunteer at the cafe, or people who are no longer homeless because... Last
year was a great year. I think, Brandon, if you can help me out, 7 or 8 people were housed during the year or the season that we were open. We have guests that want to come back and volunteer because we've helped them. We've given them place. And I think an important thing to add to all of this, what makes our place so special, guests will tell us when we come here, you know our name. Mm-hmm. And that's so important for somebody to be acknowledged as a human being.
Instead of a nameless face.
Mm-hmm. Or that homeless guy there.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Overnight Cafe is, it truly is a life-saving event every year. And during those months when people do need their life saved, otherwise, who knows what would happen. So thank you, Pastor Becky and Brandon, for not only being our guests today, but for dedicating so much of your time and passion to this great, great service. You've been listening to SecondFirst Conversations, which is a podcast series from Second Congregational First Presbyterian Church in downtown Rockford, Illinois. Our podcasts seek to educate, inform, and show God's grace. Colossians 4:6 says, "Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned by salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone." This is Phil Davidson, along with Greg McCulloch. So long, and thank you for listening.
SecondFirst Conversations is produced and hosted by Phil Davidson, edited by Greg McCulloch. We'd like to thank the Rockford Public Library for use of their excellent recording studio. Our theme music is Vineyard by the Asian Jazz Cafe, and it's courtesy of Universal Studios. To listen to more podcasts or view Sunday services live, visit our YouTube channel, SecondFirst Rockford, or visit us at our website, www.secondfirst.org.